Welcome to the Legend of Drizzt, D&D, adventure board game. I saw this up on my shelf, and it really brought back some nostalgia. I read all of the Salvatore novels years and years ago, and so I saw it, and it just kind of made me nostalgic, and I decided I wanted to play through it. So I bought it at one point and never really played it. So I've pulled it out, and normally I am fairly loath to play with unpainted miniatures, but a couple reasons. One is they have a lot of these kind of hollow looking miniatures that you just wouldn't paint. Two, I've got two other and about to be three other paint projects going. And then last, these are just not really inspiring miniatures to me. I don't know. They are not calling to me to paint them, so I'm just going to play with the unpainted miniatures, which I normally would not do. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I have no problems with people who play with unpainted minis. It's all a matter of taste. I like the immersion of having the painted miniatures, and I really like the painting part of the whole hobby, so that's really why I do it. But I do have my Shadows of Brimstone still going strong, and I'm still doing, I'm about to start another project for my son, and then I really want to get into Oathsworn, and that'll have to be a paint and play so I don't ruin things for me. So for all those reasons, I'm not painting them, and that was a long way to just say, hey, these aren't going to be painted minis, and if that bothers you, I apologize. So Drizzt, he's a first level Drow Ranger, and for this adventure it says, life is normally difficult in the Underdark, but the spider goddess Lulith's demand for your sacrifice had made it impossible. You are left with one choice. You must fight your way through the Underdark and find your way to the surface. So Drizzt gets, this is a solo mission. You have the start tile, and then you're searching for the underground river, which is the 8th or the 9th tile in the deck. It's not a surprise or anything. You get the one healing surge, and you get one random item card, which I will draw now. Item, Mask of Disguise. This enchanted mask allows the wearer to look like anyone. Use when a monster not on your hero's tile activates. Your hero does not count as the closest hero for that monster. Yeah, that's not really going to be very useful in an adventure with just one adventurer. But he has, the other things that he has is his utility power of Dancing Serpent. So if you put your stance token on it at the beginning of your hero phase, while this is on your card, whenever you use an attack power, you can move your hero up to 2 squares before or after. A daily power of Lone Drow, move your hero up to his or her speed and then attack one adjacent monster. You flip that one over. And then he's got Twinkle and Icing Death, which have their own powers. He has 8 hit points, his speed is 7, and his armor class is 16. The monsters are random, and the tiles come out random, so not a whole lot else. If you've not played this before, it's a fairly simple rule set. It's a very terrible rule book, but we will muddle through. So here are the tiles. I just have them stacked in a box. I will put them right here. I am going to use a dice tray. I don't normally use a dice tray, but clanking on this wooden table. I still have Shadows of Brimstone set up upstairs in my game room, so I'm going to play this on the kitchen table. So, the first turn of these adventures, and I guess I should put Drizzt out here. You can start anywhere on the start tile. I'm sure later with more powers there are ways to do more on the first turn, but for the first turn you really can't do much except move. So he will move his 7 spaces, but it's not really 7. So in the hero phase you can do normally only 2 things. You can move and then attack, attack and then move, or make 2 moves, but Drizzt has a special power where he gets 2 attack actions. So you could attack, move, attack. You could attack, attack, move. A lot of argument out there on the internet whether you can move or attack, then move, then move. One of the rule book writers said it was intended that he just basically instead of 2 gets 3 for the attacks. So we'll kind of play it as we go. The other thing that's never really described in the rule book much is the stance. We'll put the stance in, and I generally play it just you do it at the beginning, or once it's on something you don't move it around during the turn. But as time goes by I may find that that doesn't make sense after all. It's really sort of up to the advantage of the hero according to the internet. So anyway, Drizzt has now moved, so the next thing that happens is you move on to, and handy little cards here, you move on to the exploration phase. So you draw the next tile, you put the arrow down facing it. If it's a black arrow you get a encounter card, if it's a white one you don't, and if you don't basically explore, then you have to draw an encounter card too. So as soon as you have put down the tile, or you do the exploration phase, you put down the tile, you draw a monster card, and so we have a spider swarm. These are vermin. You just always place them on the mushroom. You're in the underdark, so it's on a mushroom. And then you move on to the villain phase. So if you didn't place a tile, you'd do an encounter. If you place a tile and it has a black triangle, you do an encounter. If you've placed a tile and there's no, it's a white arrow, you don't do an encounter, you move straight to the monsters. And just a mechanic to make you keep moving. But anyway, so we have to do an encounter, and it's an attack. A Baruchi colony. A careless step causes a mass of fungus to expel a cloud of poisonous spores. Attack each hero on your hero's tile. The attack is plus 11 and poisoned, and you discard after playing. So, boy, it's not going to take much. A 7 plus 11 is an 18, so that is enough to poison him. So he now has a poison marker. So he will take 1 damage at the start of each hero phase, and discard this marker at the end of your hero phase if you roll a 10 plus. But it doesn't do any damage now, apparently. There's nothing on here about taking damage now, so it'll be at the start of his next hero phase. So, done the encounters, now we do monsters move. So the tactics for the spider swarm is if the spider is on a tile with a poisoned hero, each poisoned hero takes 1 damage. Well, we're not on that tile. If the spider swarm is within 1 tile of a hero, it moves to the closest hero tile and attacks each hero with 1,000,000 venomous fangs. Otherwise it just moves 1 tile. So he is going to move to this tile and attack, and they are a 7 plus. So a 5 plus a 7 is a 12, which does not exceed his armor class of 16. So lucky us. So now we move to the hero phase, and because we are poisoned, he loses a hit point of his 8. He will use his first attack. He's going to put his stance on Twinkle, and he's going to use Twinkle to attack an adjacent, he attacks an adjacent monster and then puts his stance on. So he will attack the spider swarm. He rolls an 11. That's more than a 10, so he gets to discard this. He puts his Twinkle down, or the stance down on Twinkle, which gives him some defense. There's only one hit point, so dead, and draw a treasure, and it's a heavy cloak. Use when your hero is targeted by an attack that targets more than one hero. The attack misses your hero. Discard after use. Okay. Now the spider swarm goes into our experience pile, which I'm going to just put right there. Now he has a move, so he's just going to move 1, 2, we're going to move here. That's the end of his phase. There's nothing else for him to do, so we will draw a cavern tile. It is another with the black arrow, so we're going to have to explore again. But now we need to pull a monster. A Drow Wizard. The Drow Wizard teleports to the tile with the most heroes and then attacks each hero on that tile with a blast of fire. That's the Drow Wizard. He goes to the mushrooms. And so, next step is an encounter. Volcanic explosion. Each hero on a volcanic vent tile takes 2 damage. Well, that's not happening because we don't have any volcanoes. So next we'll move on to the monster. He teleports here and he attacks. His attack is an 8+, and he has 2 hit points. So 3 + 8 is not enough. But if he misses, you take 1 damage. But, ooh. He missed, so I don't think this will work because it says when an adjacent monster hits your hero, you can reduce the damage from that attack. But he didn't hit, he missed, so he just does 1 damage. Ooh, that's not a happy thing. So that's the end of that turn. So now it's Drizzt's turn again. So he'll attack. I think he's going to attack with Icing Death and hope that if he rolls an 18 or higher, he gets an extra damage. And he rolls an 18. Wow. So that does 2 damage instead of 1 damage, which kills him. We get a treasure. Your hero is now 2nd level. If your hero is already 2nd level, another hero can become 2nd level. Discard after playing. So we flip him over. His hit points are increased by 2, and his armor class goes up 1, and now when he attacks, if he rolls a natural 20, he deals 1+ damage. So that was good. But now he's going to move. He's going to move this way. We'll draw another. It's a narrow passage. But there is no encounter, so just a monster. A hunting drake. And I forgot the wizard goes into the experience pile. A hunting drake. Let me grab one of these little guys. No encounter, so he's just going to go straight to the attack. The hunting drake moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks that hero with a rending bite. So he will attack. He is a +8 attack. 4 + 8 is 12. That is not enough. And that is the end of the turn. So now it becomes Drizzt's turn again. He will, of course, attack with a 15. That actually is enough to hit him. He only has 1 hit point, so he dies. We get another treasure. Scrimshaw Charm. The carved piece of bone from a knucklehead trout grants its owner good luck. Use after any die roll and re-roll the die. Okay, that one is actually pretty good. And now we'll move I think we're going to move this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will be able to lay down a tile. It is a volcanic vent. We have to pull a monster. What monster do we get? A goblin archer. Let me find a goblin archer. There's a goblin archer. Yeah. Just reaffirming my decision not to bother painting them. So the goblin archer, oh, and we have an encounter. So we do the encounter. Curse, Mark of Lilith. Your hero is cursed. Place this card on your hero as a reminder. Each hero with at least one curse, including yours, takes 1 damage when this card is played. So we lose a hit point. And then the Goblin Archer. If the Goblin Archer is adjacent to a hero, it cowers in fear and does nothing. If it is within 2 tiles, it attacks the closest hero with barbed arrows. Okay, so I guess he's going to attack with his barbed arrow. A 7 plus a 7 is 14. It is not enough to hit him. But if you miss, you take a damage. And again, Twinkle doesn't block a miss, so at least that's, I mean, if I'm reading it how it says. You can remove your stance token from this card when an adjacent monster hits your hero. If you do, reduce the damage by 1, but he wasn't hit. So it is now our turn again. So now he's going to move. 2, 3, 4. Then he'll do an attack. 8 plus Icing Death is a 6. That's a 16. The archer is 12. So we've killed the archer. We get a treasure. We're getting lots of treasure. A brooch of shielding. This small silver pin can halt damage from even the unerring strikes of a magical missile. Use when your hero takes damage, reduce that damage by 1. Okay. And we've got nothing else we can do, so we are just going to, we'll draw another tile, and it is another narrow passage. We will get the monster. It is another Goblin Archer. But at least we don't have an event. Let's see, I'm going to spin this around. So there's the Goblin Archer. No encounter, but the Goblin Archer gets to attack. Ooh, he hits with a 15. So this can drop off. He reduces the damage from 2 to 1. And then it is now, Drizzt can move. He'll attack. Ooh, and he misses. Yep. Alright, he's going to have to attack again. An 18. So that kills the archer. That's another treasure. Use this when your hero hits an adjacent monster with an attack and it deals an extra 2. Okay. Well, we're getting lots of good stuff. I just don't have a way to use it. So he did a move, attack, and then an attack. So unfortunately, because we didn't get to explore, we're going to have to do an encounter at this point. Curse, Mark of Lilith. So we're going to do another curse. So he takes another hit point. Now it's his turn again, so he will move. Nothing else to do but draw a tile. And a dwarven statue. We'll draw a monster. It is a drow duelist. If the drow duelist is within a tile, he moves adjacent to the closest hero and attacks twice. So, and no encounter, so he moves forward and he gets to attack twice. So if his first attack is a 6 plus his 9 is a 15, that is not enough to hit him. Now a 10 plus a 9 is a 19, that is enough to hit, but I'm going to use this brooch of shielding and block that damage. So now it is our turn. I think we are going to... Do I want to do the dancing serpent? I don't think I need to do that, because even if I don't kill him, I'm going to move. So okay, so we're going to attack the duelist, who only has 1 hit point, but his armor class is 16. We've got a 14, so we kill him. Wow, I'm doing pretty well. Treasure. A flask of oil used instead of attacking. It's a 4+, and you throw it at a tile and you can get everybody on that tile. We're going to move to here. We will get our next cavern. Another volcanic vent with an event. I'm sorry, with an encounter, but let's draw a monster. Hunting, another hunting drake. Drow duelist is gone. Another lizard dude, but we have to do the encounter first. Besieged, each hero takes damage equal to the number of monsters adjacent to him or her. Well, I don't have any monsters adjacent, so we're okay. But we're about to be attacked. That is a 9, plus his 8 is 17, which is enough to hit him. And I forgot to put his stance, so okay. Alright, so Drizzt is going to attack with Twinkle, and he's going to miss. So he's going to attack with Twinkle again, and he's going to miss again. So he's just going to move. We'll lay the next tile down. Draw another monster. No encounter this time, that's good. A hypnotic spirit. It is an undead. If the hypnotic spirit is within 1 tile, it moves to the closest hero and attacks each hero on that tile with a horrifying howl. And then the drake is going to attack. Now there's no encounter. You do it in order, so the drake goes first. He attacks. He hits, but we save that damage with his Twinkle stance. And now the howl of the hypnotic spirit. That is an 8 plus 6 is 14, so he does not damage. So now it is Drizzt's turn again. Each of these only have 1 hit point, so we're going to use Twinkle and get a 16. And I didn't say which one, so we're just going to do it random then. 1 through 10, 11 through 20. So we killed him. Now he's going to use his second attack to go after the hypnotic spirit. 14 plus a 6 is a 20, so he kills the hypnotic spirit as well. Since he killed the hypnotic spirit and the drake, he does get a treasure card. You can only get one per turn. It says, Fortune Bolster. A few words of encouragement fortify your companion's resolve. Play immediately. Choose one hero. That hero either regains one hit point or ends one condition on him or her. So we'll regain a hit point. Though Drizzt is talking to himself, but he did that in the books, so. And we have lots of experience. So we've done that, now we're going to move, because we don't want to get... so we've gotten to the underground river. So what happens when you get to the underground river, let me do some movement here. When you reveal the underground river tile, your hero has found a way out of the Underdark. Place the surface hollow tile next to the closest unexplored edge. It seems silly since there's only one unexplored edge ever on this tile. Then draw 2 monster cards and place the corresponding monster figures on the surface hollow tile, one on each mushroom patch. To escape to the surface, your hero must end your hero phase on any of the middle 4 squares on the far end of the surface hollow tile. So monster number 1, which will be the closer monster, is a stalagmite event. Do not place a monster. Could there have been a better time for that? And then a hypnotic spirit. Interesting though, do you pull, it doesn't say, but should you pull a monster for the underground river tile? It says place, when you reveal it, it says, it doesn't say to do that. Okay, so, kind of luck of the draw, but it's also now the move of the hollow. The hypnotic spirit. So if it's within one tile, not within one tile yet, otherwise the closest hero moves 2 tiles closer to the hypnotic spirit. Wow. Okay. I would assume you'd go to the mushroom just like they would. That actually is kind of helpful. Well, it actually doesn't make a difference. Alright, so it is actually our turn now. We'll do our first move, and then we will do our first attack. Well, it's the start of my hero phase, so we're going to do our move. We're putting Dancing Serpent. We'll attack. 15 is enough. We kill it. It doesn't matter. So then we can do our move, and we have reached the surface. So, the sound of running water is a welcome respite from the silence of the caves. After days of traveling through the dark, you see the soft glow of sunlight ahead. Only a few monsters stand between you and freedom. And that is the end of the first adventure in the Legend of Drizzt board game. Next time, adventure number 2 is the search for Mithril Hall.